How are you today?
Hey, good. How are you?
Doing good. All right, I was just pulling up my notes from last time, everything we were working on. What were some of your thoughts on what we were working on the last week or two?
I thought it was like really cool and like very like explores like creativity. Like, oh, what should we do for this like type of
Hmm.
character voice? And like, how is it gonna
Yeah.
sound? Like, how high or low is it gonna be?
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think it was good to stretch yourself in new ways, to kind of, think outside the box a little bit from your comfort zone, try some new types of character voices, challenge yourself to go a little higher, a little bit lower, things like that, that just kind of, stretch you a little bit. So
Yeah.
for today, did you have any thoughts on what your intentions or goals would be for this session?
Hmm. Well, I've been very busy, so I
Oh,
don't really like know like
pretty
what to
busy
like.
week.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had a lot of schoolwork or?
Yeah, I had to come back from like a huge like French exam, a
Oh man,
three-parter.
that sounds tough. Oh, French was a harder language to me. I took 1 year of Spanish, 1 year of French, 1 year of German, and 1 year of Italian in school. So like a little spattering of different things. And French, I think, was the hardest one for me. So yeah, French is kind of tough. So do you
Yeah.
feel like did you feel pretty confident? Like, did you feel like you studied
Yeah.
and it paid off and you felt pretty proud of yourself?
Yes.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, I think French is tricky. So I'm glad to hear that you feel like, the good work you put in paid off. But I totally understand feeling like you didn't really have a lot of time to practice this week. Sometimes we have other
Hmm.
things that have to be our priority, and that's okay. Um, well, since you mentioned really enjoying working on stretching yourself and trying being creative with the characters, creating new character voices that are a little bit outside your typical comfort zone, would you maybe like to keep on that same track today and, continue trying some just different challenges, like different ages of characters, different personalities, like
I think let's
different.
do different personalities.
Yeah, absolutely. Like one thing I think is really fun is to do different high school stereotypes.
Hmm.
Just like stereotypical or like the commedia dell'arte characters that are like different types of characters you find in comedy that they still use that kind
Hmm.
of character trope structure to kind of build comedic situations today. There are a lot of fun ways that we could approach that. Do you like the idea of doing more comedy stuff today?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that might be kind of fun to work through some of those Commedia dell'arte characters that they had originally designed. So these characters were basically just a structure, a way that they would sort of structure and like, Shakespeare would have used these character structures. They've been used throughout history. Um, so uh, so they would have originated in Europe. They became a thing in the Italian Renaissance theaters where they first came about. Um, Stock characters. So this would have been um, an Italian Renaissance improv type of theater. They had both masked and unmasked um, performances. And this would have been from the 16th to 18th centuries that it originated from. So they have these fixed social stereotypes with certain costumes, masks, physical mannerisms that stay consistent. And you'll still see
Hmm.
these types of characters today, which is pretty fun. So they have servants who are cunning, more like physical comedy. They usually help drive the plot. Um, they will help or hinder the lovers. They'll like get in the way sometimes.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, so those are a big character type we see. The masters. These are usually elderly, high status, wealthy. They're kind of the antagonists. They like might be greedy or miserly. They might be like pompous, a braggart, but they like get in the way of the lover's romance. You
Uh-huh.
do have the lovers as well, who are usually young, aristocratic lovers. Um, they're very obsessed with their romance. They speak with like high flowing dramatic language. Um, and there are other types of characters, like there's usually an old meddling gossipy woman who like tries to
Hmm.
help the master keep the lovers apart. So they have like very specific character types that are really, really fun.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, let's see if maybe we could maybe pull some scripts that are inspired by some of those specific character types. Just because I think these can be really, really fun. All right, so why don't we do one? Do you want to maybe start? I know you have in the past really enjoyed doing like villain characters. Do you want to maybe look at a villain character?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the masters are usually old, rich, proud, and they don't want anyone else to be happy, basically. So I was thinking that might be kind of a fun to maybe start with, and it would also kind of stretch us with something that's a little bit out of our typical comfort zone. Um, let's see. They can be thought of as like the gatekeepers. They like, I've been around long enough to know better. So they're like in control, they have status, they've got ego, they kind of fear losing their power.
Hmm.
So yeah, so so this is like modern language, but with the same kind of energy. Um, of this character type, this script that I found here. It's a little bit long, so I'm going to send the first chunk of it and then I'll send the second chunk of it through the chat. All right, so just some notes. They tend to be kind of calm, superior, unhurried. They never rush, like they own their time.
All
Um,
right.
they pretend to be very wise, but really they fear losing their power and control. You can think of like some modern parallels. It's like a CEO of a company, maybe like a politician or a producer. They tend to be a little too rigid and a little smug.
Uh-huh.
So, just some ideas on just some of those character choices you might like to play with here.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, so just kind of reading through, what are some of the things that stand out to you?
Well, what's standing out to me, like he doesn't know like what love is. He's more about like structures. Like
Yeah, they're always
like
getting
he
in
like
love
he
and
like goes
thwarting
by the book.
they're thwarting the characters who are in love. They're getting in the way of those who are in love. They're always meddling.
Yeah, and he doesn't like really believe in true love. He like is more like realistic, goes by the book, follows the rules.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So why don't we try just an initial read through? Just kind of follow your instincts and play with it. Try to have fun with it, and we'll go from there.
Mhm. You think this is about love? No. This is about structure, about systems that work because people like me hold them together. I didn't build this company by following my heart. I built it by reading contracts, by knowing who to trust, and more importantly, who not to. Do you think passion pays bills? Passion is a liability. It's a mood swing with good lighting. And you want to throw everything away because someone makes your pulse race. That's not romance. That's bad judgment. I've seen this before. Big eyes, big promises, no plan. You think I'm standing in your way because I'm cruel? I'm standing here because I remember what happens after the excitement fades, when the money's gone, when the charm starts charming, when responsibilities show up and no one answers the door. You call me controlling. I call it experience. One day you'll thank me. You won't say it out loud. Pride won't allow that, but you'll know. Because when everything doesn't collapse, when your future exists, it will be because someone's older, smarter, and de infinitely more caution says no when you were too busy saying, but I love them.
All right. So, who do you think you're talking to? And how does your character, like, how do you as a character feel about them?
Well, I feel like who I'm talking to is probably like two of my workers.
Okay, people who work for you. Hmm.
Yeah.
So what do you think happened right before this?
Like probably like telling me like their big idea, like this is not for the money. This is for our people. This is gonna be for we love them and they're gonna love us as much as we do with them with
So
our
more about like
structure.
passion. They're like, we have
Yeah.
this idea, we're passionate about it, we can use it to help people.
Uh-huh.
And then how would your character feel when you first hear that?
Sorry.
That's okay.
I, well,
Maybe
with
they're
this,
asking you like for money to help them start this new idea.
well, yeah, I basically like I'm not with my company, I'm not doing it for love. I'm mostly doing it for money.
Yeah.
And what I think their little love idea is for it's just like complete nonsense.
Yeah, you're like, look, this isn't going to make any money. This isn't going to be good long term. Like you're not going about this the right way. Like there's going to be no payoff. So do you think that they're foolish? Do you like think it's funny? Are you like proud of them for being having an, initiative, but you're like, okay, but I gotta like give you real talk and like unfortunately I don't think that's gonna work. Like, what do you think your character feels about it?
Yeah, I think like I'm sorry, you guys, but but this is like I want to share you my reality, my
Mm,
opinion, my
what I've learned from my years of experience,
uh-huh. Yeah,
even though it's
that.
not what you want to hear. Yeah. Okay, so then and what do you think your goal is? Are you trying to dissuade them, like be like, hey, this isn't a good idea, like stop them from their idea? Is your
Yeah.
goal to like keep them as workers? Are you like, I don't want to lose them as workers. They're good workers, so I have to convince them it won't work so I can keep them. Like, what do you
Yeah,
think is
I
your
think that
motivation?
and also the so sorry. Um yeah, I also want not only want to keep them as workers, but also like to be more controlling over them.
So you like having control and you feel like you'll lose control over them if they go do this new idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're like, I have to keep control. I have to keep my power over them. And that's your
Mhm.
goal. So how are you going to convince them that their idea is bad and to stay with you?
Mostly like with this line, maybe there are like some parts that where I might lash out at them. Like
Yeah,
not talking in a normal voice, but either barking or
kind of
just
like bullying them or like
yeah.
commanding them, kind of
Mm-hmm.
being like pushy about it and like, look, this is a bad idea, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay, great. So yeah, because I feel like, you might be kind of a proud person too. And maybe you're offended that they would want to leave you. You're like, what? Working for me is amazing. Why would you ever want to leave? It could be a
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, so let's go ahead and try that again with more of that character's attitude towards them.
All right. You think this is about love? No. This is about structure, about systems that work because people like me hold them together. I didn't build this company by following my heart. I built it by reading contracts, by knowing who to trust, and more importantly, who not to. You think passion pays bills? Passion is a liability. It is a mood swing with good lighting. And you just want to throw everything away someone makes, because someone makes your pulse race? That's not romantic. That's bad judgment. I've seen it before. Big eyes, big promises, no plan. You think I'm standing in your way because I'm cruel? I'm standing here because I remember what happens after the excitement fades. When money's gone, when the charm stops charming, when responsibility shows up and no one answers the door. You call me controlling. I call it experience. One day you'll thank me. You won't say
Yeah.
it out loud. Pride won't allow that, but you'll know. Because when everything doesn't collapse, when your future still exists, it will, it will, it will because someone older, smarter, and definitely more cautious says no when you're too busy saying, but I love them.
Yeah. Nice. Good. It's like tough love. Yeah, nice. I almost this time heard it kind of like the California Gold Rush or something. They're like, I'm going to New York. I got big dreams or something. And you're like, you're a fool, you're an idiot. Or it could also be like a parent who's talking to their kid who they're like, no, like I want you to stay and like follow in my footsteps, kind of a thing.
Yeah, like keep the family tradition alive.
Yeah, like everyone in our family has been a plumber, and you're going to be a plumber too, like me, and you're going to take over the family business, whether you like it or not. Kind of an attitude. Yeah, very nice. What were some of the things that stood out to you that time? I definitely heard quite a few things differently that time. So, what were some of the things that stood out to you as approaching them differently or that landed a little bit differently? Maybe new discoveries you made?
Well, new discoveries like I made like during like parts like take the ending for instance, like
Hmm.
how I said, but I love them. Like I kind of like didn't like I kind of clenched my teeth as I was speaking that.
Yeah. Like you're like, you think you know what love is. You don't know what love is. I know what love is, kind of a thing. Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
how I
maybe like it
start,
makes you angry when they sort
yeah,
of like
get my
accuse you
blood
maybe of
pressure
like
up.
not loving. And you're like, Psh, this is real love. This is tough love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I was also thinking, so these characters typically would be like an older male character. What could we do to kind of create that type of an energy vocally? Like what vocally could we do to create a character voice that's similar to that?
Maybe more lower,
A little bit lower, yeah. Absolutely.
more gravelly,
Gravelly, yeah.
and I think those are like the two main terms, like low
Hmm.
and gravelly.
I agree. Yeah, yeah, low and gravelly. So let's try just doing a little side down, a little ah. I'm kind of like
Oh.
resting in that vocal fry, feeling that out. All right, so we're gonna try to pitch it a little bit lower and then add in a little bit of that gritty, gravelly quality. Okay?
Hmm.
Great, let's try it.
You think this is about love? No. This is about security, about system that work because people like me hold them together. I didn't build this company by following my heart. I built it by reading contracts, by knowing who to trust, and more importantly, not to trust. You think passion pays the bills. Passion is a liability. It's a good mood swing with good lighting. And you want to throw everything away because someone makes your pulse race? That's not romance. That's a bad judgment. I've seen it before. Big eyes, big promises, no plan. You think I'm standing in your way because I'm cruel? I'm standing here I remember when, because I remember what happens when after the excitement fades, when money is gone, when this charm stops charming, when responsibility shows up and no one answers the door. You call me controlling. I call it experience. One day you'll thank me. You won't say it out loud, but pride won't allow that. But you'll know. Because when everything doesn't collapse, when your future still exists, it will be because someone's older, smarter, and infinitely more cautious and said no when you were too busy saying, but I love them.
Okay, nice. Yeah. I almost felt like there was more hurt in there that I was hearing this time. Like there were moments I felt like it was more hurt. Really nice, beautiful. Okay, well, any like final thoughts on that one?
No, actually, that was a pretty good take.
I agree. That was beautiful. There was a lot of character vulnerability. Like I heard hurt, I heard anger, I heard accusation, like scoffing. Awesome. So these next two chunks, again, it's a little long, so I put two chunks in there. So this is a different character type from what we're looking at here. So this one is going to be more of the uh, think like a little bit chaotic, um, uh, fast. These characters are more like clever, maybe slightly unhinged. They're very witty. So, yeah, so they usually have a little bit more physical comedy, but we have to play that up with um our voice. So quick overlapping thoughts that just kind of tumble out. Um, Reacting to like invisible interruptions, like that we don't actually hear, but that you just are going to place there. Um, they have a low social status, but they're very high in like street smarts or survival intelligence. Think like confidence plus chaos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. So let's go ahead and try it. Just an initial read through and see what we think.
Okay, okay. Before I before you yell, let me just say, technically, I didn't ask exactly what you asked. Now, did I do it because did I do it the way you meant? No, but that's on communication, not me. Look, I don't get paid enough to think 3 steps ahead. I get paid to move fast, carry things, and pretend I didn't hear secrets that could ruin anyone's life, which, by the way, I'm very good at. You want loyalty? I'm loyal. You want silence? I'm silent. You want coffee? Documents a fake excuse, an alibi by noon? I'm your guy. But don't stand there acting shocked when things get creative. You gave me half the information, impossible deadlines, and zero sleep when you think it's gonna happen. A miracle? Please, even Google needs a minute. And yes, maybe I told the wrong person the right thing at the worst possible time, but situation was already broken. I just accu- accelerated the truth like a helpful little disaster, honestly. If you pay, if you people ever stopped lying to each other, I'd be out of a job. So you're welcome. Now, if you, now, don't you want me to fix it, cover it up, or accidentally make it worse again? Because I can do all three very effective, efficiently.
Yes. So accelerated the truth and then very efficiently. Yes. Those are a little bit of a mouthful. So I just accelerated the truth like a helpful little disaster and then very efficiently. So yeah, those are a little bit of a mouthful. I know when you're first reading through it, it's like you're processing everything at once. So it can be a little surprising, like we'll fumble over certain words. Okay, so accelerated and efficiently were the two I wanted to point out. So tell me a little bit about this character. Who are you? Who are you talking to? What do you think's happening?
Very panicky, very like on high alert.
Yes. Yeah, clearly nervous, anxious, not, feeling super great about what's going on. Who are you talking to? What's your relationship to them?
Mostly like maybe like someone like maybe like a partner,
Okay. Yeah,
maybe
could
like the
be.
assistant manager.
Okay. Yeah. And so what do you want from them in this moment? What do you think could have happened right before this? And how do you feel about that? And then what do you need or want from them right now?
Well, probably what happened before this, like since it says here before you yell at me, probably like I made like a horrible mistake or I got in big trouble. And like wait, before you yell at me, let me like I'm trying to like confess and explaining to them like okay, so I did it, but I made a mistake.
So they're mad at you and you're trying to smooth it over.
Yeah.
Okay. And all right, so really go after that. Really go after being like, oh, please forgive me. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna fix it. Like, make sure that they're not mad at you anymore.
All right.
Okay, let's try it.
Okay, before you yell at me, let me just say, technically, I did exactly what you asked. Now, did I do it the way you meant? No, but that's on communication, not me. Look, I know I didn't get paid enough to think three steps ahead. I get paid to move fast, carry things, and pretend I didn't hear secrets that could ruin anyone's life. Which, by the way, I'm very good at. You want loyalty? I'm loyal. You want silence? I'm silent. You want coffee, documents, a fake excuse, and an alibi by noon? I'm your guy. But don't stand there acting shocked when things get creative. You gave me half the information, possibly impossible deadlines, and zero sleep? What do you what do you think is gonna happen? A miracle? Please, even Google needs in a minute. And yes, maybe I told the wrong person the right thing at the worst possible time, but the situation was already broken and I just exhilarated the truth like a helpful little disaster. Honestly, if you people ever stop lying to each other, I'll be out of a job. So you're welcome. Now, do you want me to fix it, cover it up, or accidentally make it worse again? Because I can do all three of them very effectively.
Very nice. Good. I definitely thought that was improved. What did you like about that read through?
Yeah. Need to catch my breath there.
Yes, I totally get being winded after that. It's like you're scrambling to, figure out what to do, what to say, and it is kind of like bouncing all over the place. It's very fast paced. Um, yeah, what do you think is maybe the most challenging thing about this one?
Maybe like trying to like, even though it's like very fast pace, like maybe try to catch a breath here and there
Hmm.
was probably very most challenging.
Yeah, yeah. So with this one, if you were going to work on it some more, what would be the number one thing that you would want to be sure to do with it?
I'll make sure I'm breathing as I'm still like going on.
Yeah. Remember to breathe. We don't want you to faint from lack of oxygen.
So yeah, definitely breath techniques. Um, maybe make sure like I'm not really like fumbling the words a lot so it doesn't sound like I'm saying like gibberish or anything.
Okay, so making sure that even though we're fast, it's all still very clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that is an important aspect. So, going fast, we don't go so fast that we can't understand it or that we're fumbling over things. Yeah, I agree with
Hmm.
that. Yeah, awesome. Beautiful. So, thinking about just generally these two monologues that we worked through, what would be maybe the key takeaways?
Oh. Key takeaway would definitely be like doing like a little more amount to see where the good space of the voice is, like how we were with the first one
Ah.
with the gravelly voice.
Yes. Yeah. What we want to do with the character's voice. I agree with that. Yeah. I think that's a great plan to kind of approach it with, okay, so, what kind of voice, and then kind of warming up your voice into that. I agree.
And then also probably like see like what like give like a quick little backstory of what's going on and why are you such in a panic in this state of voice?
Yeah. Yeah, the why for the character. Yeah. You can kind of go through those like who, what, where, when, why, how kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Beautiful. So lovely, lovely work today. Was there something you felt like you improved on throughout the session?
Oh, I feel like I improved on a lot. Like my voice is getting
Yeah,
stronger.
I agree. Yes, I love that. What do you think was the most fun thing about the session?
Like creating like a storyline for these monologues.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, that's the thing I love most about acting too is the story, right? Telling that story. So first we have to know what the story is. So that scene work, crafting the scene, figuring out exactly what that storyline is, what story am I trying to tell here? Because sometimes we get given a script and they don't really give us any of those insights, and we're like, what's happening? Who is this character? What is their world? So getting to be really creative and, create that world, create that character. I agree. That's one of the most fun things about it. Awesome. Well, hopefully this week won't be as stressful. Hopefully no more humongous French tests this week.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a breather for you,
Hmm.
hopefully. I will plan to see you next Wednesday, unless, something changes. And I look forward to seeing you then. Wonderful work today, Izzy.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good evening, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Thanks.